Hey there, Chad here. Let's play Ostranauts. This is my next episode in the playthrough of Ostranauts, build 0.14, or build 14. And where we left off, we had just returned after a pretty profitable run. I do need to pay my debts here real quick, and I like to prepay the mortgage with a percentage of what I earned in the last during the last shift. So obviously I don't want to pay everything. My minimum rate is 2,300. I'm going to pay like 15,000, close to half of what we got. Actually, you know what? I'm going to drop that down a little. We'll do 10,000 this time. I can't remember how much the laser charger is going to cost, but we'll go ahead and do that. And that's just how I knock the mortgage down a little faster. That's how I like to do that. I have some other things that I have to pay off as well. We'll go ahead and hit that. And those are just basically our parking fees, I guess is what you can think of that as. So I have a few things I need to install on the ship, and I'm going to go ahead and do that while we are stopped. I do want to see if I can pick up a Weber laser torch charger, but it might be a little bit too expensive. The one reason maybe I shouldn't have paid quite so much, I don't honestly remember what they go for. So the laser torch itself, 32,000. If you recall, I bought mine from the fixer for about 8,000, 8,500. Okay, if we come down here, we should see chargers. Maybe I'm not in the right spot for that. There we go, battery chargers, Weber. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. This one is actually not expensive at all. Well, it is. It's more expensive than the other ones, which cost under 100, but it is, at least it's not completely ridiculous. It's 11, and we'll call it 1,200. So we're going to head and pick that up. And I do want to check if there happens to be another backpack or something like that available. I'll grab it. Really don't need the equipment truck yet. I do like to get a couple of those. Usually I can find one on a ship somewhere, and I'll just grab that and go with it, fix it up, make it nice and pretty. Could buy a couple of crates, but as you saw, we can find those on ships too, and we do have the ability to clean those up. There's where the extra fee is. It's the actual battery for the laser torch, and that's 13,000. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to be breaking down a few ships here. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that, and we'll get that charging, and we now have the laser torch, and we're in really good shape moving forward. Okay, so this is going to be basically just some housekeeping, I guess. I did not sell those PDAs yet. That's right. I sold the data off the PDAs to the fixer, but he didn't want the PDAs themselves, and that is why we have this license, so that we can salvage and then we can sell the stuff here. They'll buy pretty much anything that's a decent haul, I guess. And they will also pay for some of this data. In this case, they're not buying any of the data, and that's fine. Every once in a while, the fixer will not buy some data, and the license desk will. But this is okay. We just need to unload this stuff right now. I don't think there was anything else. We're going to want to hold on to mechanical parts and things like that. The batteries were intentional purchases. Okay, so we didn't, we're not cleaning up there, but we are cleaning up our inventory a little bit. All right, we'll come back here. Now what I tend to do is I'll put the Weber charger on when I'm flying a Dream. I will install it right here. It's kind of out of the way, and I know where it's at. There's the laser torch itself. It's under the switch. So speed up time a little bit. He's good to go. We'll come over here and actually pick up the torch. Okay. Yeah, I've got my I'm kind of holding on to everything right now. I don't usually do that, but we'll get that figured out. So let's go ahead and install these other chargers as well. And I generally just put them right here early on. The good thing is they install really, really quick. And one more right there. Now to put a battery on those, you simply right click them until you have it and go to its inventory. And there we are. This is the Halverson, so we will grab the Halverson battery, drop it there. Now you buy the batteries, they're fully charged, but what we could do is, yeah, this one, its battery is almost dead. So we'll take a look at that and we'll basically just swap them. And now this one will be charging. As you can see, it's going up, and this now has 100% charge on it. So that worked well. And then we'll do the same. That's the one we just did. That was Halverson. We'll do Goff. Inventory. Put the battery on the charger. Let's see if any of these. So the drill gets used a lot. The grinder has a good charge on it right now. We'll go ahead and swap out the drill battery because there's no reason not to be charging a battery if you can. There we go. Okay. Now I want to put the electronics parts and the mechanical parts. We're going to want to start to store those somewhere. Real quick, I'm going to clean this up. For the longest time, I didn't realize the crates were restorable. They could be restored to make them look nice. So I was always flying around with really crappy looking cases unless I left things on auto task and didn't pay attention and let them do a restore on them. So it's good to know that that does what you would hope it does. And let's get that open. It's empty right now. This is where I'm going to initially store these just small parts. It tends to work well for me. I did buy a few because you just never know what you need. Oh, and there's the Weber battery. We're going to want to put that on its charger. Okay, so there we are with those parts. Come up here to the charger, put the battery on the charger, and we are in good shape. Okay. Knife in the hand. Eventually he'll have one of these in his hand. And I believe the tote right now is where I'm storing, yeah, that's where we're storing his stuff. Oh, this data card. I should have tried to sell that as well. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I haven't had a lot of luck selling data cards to the fixer, but I always want to give it a try because, you know, he'll pay like 4 times for things sometimes. Well, even more than that, but a lot of times his base rate is pretty remarkable comparatively. And here we are. Let's go find him. There's Jonah. Offer to trade. That data card, it's kind of looking to me like he's not interested. Yeah, he's not interested. And that's fine. I knew it was a stretch. Okay. We'll run back upstairs, just sell it off to the desk, and be on our way. Okay, right here. We could sell the pills as well. Why not? We'll go ahead and do that. We'll probably find some more of those. Again, not a whole lot, 15 whole credits, but you know, that'll get us by for now. Food. I think there's some food. I put it in this overhead bin. We have $6,000. Let's buy a couple of meals, just so we have it. He's hungry right now, so that won't hurt. When you eat the nicer food, you get a buff basically. So this will cost $1,200. I'm going to go ahead and buy all those and accept. Of course, it puts it on the floor in here. That's okay. We'll come and get it. And we will pick up the stack. Do the same here, pick up the stack. And I do try to keep food and water together for the most part. Put those there. Now, you can only stack 2 of them though, so he's going to need to hold on to one or put it on the floor, but he's going to eat one right now, so we'll do that. And as you can see, that took care of his hunger. He's not very thirsty, so that's good. Okay. I do want to check on a few systems, make sure that they're in reasonable shape. We're going to go ahead and restore the battery. Battery is not something you want to mess with. It's very important to your survival. We've also gone through a lot of charge, so we're going to want to run to the kiosk to recharge stuff, well, recharge battery and otherwise buy RCS and oxygen if we need it. Hopefully those fees don't kill us. Okay, so there's RCS, there's oxygen, not so bad, and electricity is really cheap. So there we have it. Okay. Next stop, we're going to go find another ship to break. Just thinking through if there's anything I'm not considering. I do want to take a peek at the toolbox and put anything in here that I don't need at this point. Won't need the soldering iron because the laser torch covers it. Oh, the laser torch does not have a battery. That I didn't expect. Okay, well, it's good we know that now. Let's get that taken care of. So I did buy the battery, as you recall. It was more expensive than I remembered, but that's fine. We put it on the charger. We're just going to take it off the charger. So a second battery is something we'd want to get eventually so that we don't have downtime with the torch. But at this point, the torch is workable. Okay, let's go see what we find. We're just going to fish this time instead of going and kind of targeting something. We're probably looking, okay, we didn't move all the way around. We're significantly altered from where we were before, though. Okay. Wanted to see where we are with regards to the rest of the solar system. So the ship that we had been on, the Rising Leopard, is over here now. Let's head for this one. Why not? It's kind of close. Or actually, we could probably go for, let's go for this. Right here. See what we end up with. So from here we can go to dock info and request clearance, request undocking. And I did pay my fees, so we're good to go. If you haven't paid your fees, it will give you a red message that basically says you can't leave. It doesn't call you names or anything, although they probably could. Okay, just getting clear of the station. I'll speed up time a little bit. I don't mind going fairly laterally at this point. And then we want to, okay, we've got our target selected. We just want to match bearing. Okay, 0.4 is pretty good. Accelerate towards and slide to the left a little bit. That looks good. We will get there in 13 minutes. So at 8:20. So at 8:15, I guess, is when I'm going to want to stop trying to repair stuff. I'm going to start over here. And we will restore the heater. Major systems should get restored pretty early. We will restore the transponder. Now, I haven't had to replace a transponder on a ship. That does happen sometimes where it becomes important to do that. Okay, well, we're not there yet, so this is going to be an intermittent ship. And it's moving clear of us now, so we should be good. Yeah, every once in a while those things will hit you and kill you, and I don't like that. That feels a little silly. It is what it is. You'd think that there'd be some sort of anti-collision or something to kind of help you defend against that. There doesn't seem to be. Finish cleaning this up. We'll still have, well, we're going to be kind of close on time at that point. So we'll come back over here, work on this intake for a minute. Oh, that one's going to get fixed up. And then we'll slow back down, jump in the seat. And we're about there. I need to fix my bearing in that. Okay. We will hail the ship. Initiate uncontrolled docking procedure. And here we go. Under 50. And okay, I was still in ×2. That's part of why I was jerking around there as much as I was. That should do it. We never lined up and we bounced off. I'm not quite sure what we missed. Okay. Well, there we have it. Fortunately, we didn't hit it very hard. This is the Toasted Lion that we've docked with. I do like to come in here and take a look and see how big the ship we're talking with is. It's not as big as us. Okay. So not necessarily the smartest pick here. I knew it was a gamble, but we've got 3 or 4 ships out here, so it's not exactly a waste of time. We can kind of move around a little bit, check out a couple of different ships, see if there's something we like. And here we go. The ship looks like it's in pretty bad condition. I'd be a little surprised if there's a pirate on it, but it's not impossible. There's a battery. It is completely messed up. A couple of intakes. Let's go ahead and see if the battery is something we can repair real quick. And if it is, we'll take the battery. It's always good to have a second battery. Eventually, I want to have a battery of batteries. See what I did there? And we'll have a switch that allows us to turn some on and some off so that we always have a little reserve power to get home when we need to. Okay, we're going to have to cancel his current action, run back into the ship. Pop off the helmet. Put the helmet back on. Now, if you're having oxygen problems or anything, you may want to stop in between running through. I tend to run through the doors quickly, and when they're both open, air escapes, and that can become expensive. I've probably paid more for oxygen than I need to in general over the course of playing the game. Just something to be conscious of. It's a decision that I make when I play that I don't worry about that so much. Okay. And the battery is repaired. It is not restored, but we'll do that later. We're going to install it now, and we're going to take it with us. that up. We're just going to deposit it over here. Okay, there we go. Let's see what else we can find. I did see there was a bin, like one of the wall bins. There it is right there. I like to check these in case they have additional licenses. Those can sometimes sell pretty well. Doesn't look like it this time. There's a pump, just floor. We've got these intakes. They wouldn't be horrible. I also saw at least one thruster. O2 can. About half full too. That's not so bad. So again, that's something to at least be mindful of. Your choice on how you want to play it. I don't, for the oxygen, I've never really had a problem. With that said, there's always that one time where you develop a leak and you can't find it and you burn through your oxygen before you can get back and game over. Now this did one of the things that I really can't stand that it does sometimes. It put the thruster that I just took off of there outside the ship. Now the good news is there's already a hole in the wall, so we can just go get it. And that's fine. We'll pick that up and drag it back here. And there it is. Helmet off. Helmet on. See if there's anything else good in here that we want. We're going to go ahead and move to the next ship though. Give it a quick look-see. Hopefully we find something special, and if we do, that is great. If not, we might just go ahead and continue to take these little parts. I don't tend to take the transponders. I don't know if the rules have changed. At one point, you had very little success of removing it intact. And if you did, I don't know that I even ever got to the point where I removed one, but I thought they don't sell very well. I could be mistaken there, though. Might be something to try. I'm going to pass on that for today. Let's see. Scrap carbon fiber. Once I have a couple of crates, I'll probably start picking up some of those things. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and grab a motherboard. There's going to be some things we want to fix up in the future. But I would tend to pick up some of the loose electronics parts and mechanical parts so that it makes my repairs easier to do. I don't have to go and buy pieces like I did this last time when I missed something. Okay, there we go, and we'll drop this right there. That's it. We'll put the motherboard in there for now too. Helmet can come off, and we're going to go fly the ship. So there we are. We're just going to want to back away, and maybe we'll move over to this one next. So switch, dock info, request clearance, undock, unclamp, back away. Once we have a little bit of space from it, looks like we do. You can always accelerate time a little just to give yourself a little more clearance. But once that's done, we're going to set our bearing. Adjust our speed. We're 5 minutes out, less than 15 kilometers. So we're just not going to mess around with it. I'm going to correct my bearing real quick. Okay, that's pretty good. Hopefully this is a freighter or one of those courier ships. Those are good too. Well, let's go ahead and get started on the docking process. So here's that ship. There is a minimum distance you need, I'm sorry, a maximum distance that you can be from a ship in order to request docking. It's roughly 5 kilometers is right around where that limit is. We're gently closing in on, boom, right there. That's pretty good. We'll take that. I will visually, I stop chasing the numbers, and I visually adjust when I'm getting really close here, although I think we're too close at this point. Yeah, that was a mess up on my part. I didn't pause while I was talking. I should have done that. Okay, so we're closing in again. So I had actually backed out a little bit on, well, intentionally, because I felt like I was coming in too fast, and I was already way too close, and so I didn't get didn't successfully get the clamp light. Of course, it seems to be happening again. There we go. Man, we got really close there before it let us dock. So a Lunamax, the Cowboy Notary. This is probably a pretty good sized ship. They tend to be roughly medium sized. It is, well, it's not much bigger than the Dream, but it's a little bigger. That's good. So we already have the pressure suit on. We're already holding a light and the combat knife. So put the helmet on, go take a look. This is the kind I feel like will have pirates on it, because I'm not really prepared for that and really don't want to have to deal with it. That's when they're always going to show up. Okay, so no power on this, and the door is effectively jammed. I have a couple of options here. I tend to uninstall them. It feels like it's 6-1 from a time perspective. If scrap is an option, I'll often do that if, you know, the ship is in really, really bad shape. It's just not something I'm going to be trying to take anything away from. So let's see if we find anything good in here. Use toothbrush, not something we're going to walk away with today. So here's an EVA-B helmet. We're going to go ahead and grab that because we can repair that. Did I look in this? Oh yeah, that's when we were on. Oh, I meant to, that's why I went back. I want to see if that was water or not. It is. It's got 2 servings of water in it. I remember a very long time ago, I read a study that talked about why department stores and not so much big box stores, although it probably applies to those. They weren't really a thing when I read this. It was talking about shops like Target. Here in the Missouri area, we had a chain called Venture, basically the same thing, like Kohl's, things like that. And they talked about the way they're set up is generally they want you to come in and they want you to circle counterclockwise. And there's a psychological reason for it. And they showed this study where they went in and they had cameras in these stores where people would walk in, and 90% of the people would turn right once they went in the door. They'd go in and they'd turn to the right and follow around counterclockwise. There was really no great explanation as to why that happened, but it was very consistent. Didn't matter the store type. So they showed a couple of stores that were set up backwards, and the thing that was interesting is people spent less money at those stores. So I've always wondered about that. You know, I tend to search a ship counterclockwise when I go around, and I wonder if everybody does that, if it's just me. I'm thinking it's not just me. I think that there's probably a reason that I do it. And maybe a lot of you do it as well. There's a backpack. That's always good to have. We don't need the knife, it looks like right now. So I'm going to put the I don't want to have to drag the backpack around. That gets a little tiresome. So we're going to go with that. I should have stayed on my inventory screen, though. I messed that up. I'm not so worried about pants in that, particularly when they're not in great shape. Okay, might want to grab some of these crates when I have the opportunity, but otherwise I'm just going to kind of fire through here and look at and see if there's anything really super interesting. As I was talking, I did walk by a reactor. That is interesting. So we do have a nice little haul here, it looks like. There's a firearm. I'm just kind of trying to weigh what I really want to try to carry back. Oh, you know what? Silly. I have an extra backpack now that I can put things in, so maybe do that. Okay, right here. So we'll put these things that we're collecting in there for now. Okay, whoops. That's one of those situations where my fingers went to the wrong keys. And I hit uninstall as opposed to inventory, and you never want to do that on a ship, at least not when you don't have a pressure suit on. So just kind of glancing through here. I would like a much more powerful light. So here's a doorway. One of the things we could do now that we have an extra battery, although it has no charge right now, you could carry a battery around connected to conduits, and it would allow you to open these doors. I think it's just as easy to get your crowbar out and either uninstall or pry the door open. You know, is it worth the payoff to do that? I don't know. I guess if you're looking to maybe salvage the entire ship and take it home and sell it, maybe you don't want to rip the doors off of it. That doesn't tend to be the way I go about doing this. Okay, well, I think what I'm going to do right now is come back to the ship, and we're going to settle in here. Pop that helmet off to alleviate that CO2 problem. And I'm going to put this, maybe we'll go ahead and carry that backpack. We know there's nothing on this ship to hurt us, so I'll go ahead and pull that along with me for now. But I think what I'm going to do right this second is call this one an episode, and we will come back at this spot in the next episode and continue to loot through this ship and see what we find. I really appreciate you joining me. Hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. If you haven't tried Ostranauts, it is a fantastic game. Really have enjoyed playing it, learning about it. There are some frustrating parts of it, don't get me wrong, but all in all, I like the simplicity of how a lot of it works, and just kind of the little mini games that are inside of it in a sense, and how the mechanics work together. It's just really enjoyable. So hope you might take a look at it. It's by Blue Bottle Games, and it's available on Steam. Thank you very much for your time, and until next time, fair travels.